Ever wonder where all things come from? Think about it. Where do the sun, the moon, the trees come from? The universe, where do all these things come from? When you look into the diversity of the world, the different insects, animals, trees and plants, different leaves and flowers, different people, they all appear. How did they end up here? Some might say that God created them. However, what do we know about God? Who is this God? Someone else might say that all consciousness arises from consciousness. How do you know that? Someone else might say that everything exists within Brahman, beyond God, beyond the infinite. How do you know that? Have you experienced it? Where did all this come from? How can we explain it? Whatever you say, what is the cause of it? What is the cause of causes? How do we explain life? It is infinite. It is itself, in fact, manifest. I'm sure many of you, when you were children, stood on railroad tracks and looked into the distance. It seemed as if the tracks were converging. This is an optical illusion. When you are in the desert and you are thirsty, you see an oasis in water. But when you look closer, there is nothing. Nothing exists. It is an illusion. This world seems to be a world of consequence without cause. The world has no ego. It didn't come from anywhere. How can it be like that? Think about how you dream. Is there a beginning to your dreams? The dream simply begins. Everything is already there. The trees, the flowers, the people, the situations. Everything just starts. There is no beginning. There is no cause. Psychiatrists and psychologists tell us about the mind, that nerves generate impulses in the brain and create dreams. A world and universe just like dreams. But how does this affect you? The whole world of phenomena is impersonal, totally impersonal, until you identify with some situations. For example, a cold. A cold is impersonal when it does not affect you, but you have been given the idea that a cold is something external. And you have been taught not to identify it with internal factors related to your subconscious and your upbringing. You've been foisted with the idea that a cold is just the result of a virus, and you tell everyone about it. I remember when I was 9 years old. Every day when it snowed, I would go outside in a t-shirt and play with the snow. I did this every time my mom didn't see me. I had fun throwing snowballs and making snowmen, and I never got sick with a cold. One day my mom saw me come out in a t-shirt and started screaming. And of course, I got a cold that day. Why? Because I identified with it myself. You create your own circumstances by accepting them as truth. Take a look at your life right now. Think about what's going on in your life. Are you happy? Are you unhappy? Are you healthy? Are you sick? Are you rich? Are you poor? None of that matters. The only thing that matters is what you identify with. There is no power outside of yourselves. There is no world outside of yourselves, no creation outside of yourselves, no universe outside of yourselves, no God outside of yourselves. You yourself have created all these things. You are playing a game with yourself. You're pretending. Why? Ask yourself this question. In Sanskrit it is called Leela, the great game, the great illusion. You are identified with the world and therefore you suffer. Think about what is causing you pain right now. What makes you sad or angry? You must do something. It doesn't matter what. The fact remains that you are empowering it because you identify with it. To solve this problem, all we have to do is change our identification. We have to start identifying with reality. But you will say, I don't know what reality is. Then all you have to do is to get rid of everything that is not reality, and reality will manifest itself. In other words, you have to realize it and start working on yourself. Knowing that I am not the world, I am not the physical universe, I am not my situation, I am not my body, I am not my mind. Ask the question, then what am I? Never answer it. You are simply removing obstacles because you can never verbally know who you are. Only in silence does the ultimate truth come to you. Only when your mind becomes quiet, calm, like a still lake. A still lake reflects the stars, the moon, the sun, but a noisy, agitated lake reflects absolutely nothing. Similarly, a being whose mind becomes still, calm, relaxed, peaceful, begins to reflect his own divinity, pure realization, lacerating emptiness. This always comes by itself. The ultimate reality is already there. Nobody can give it to you. You just have to eliminate everything worldly. The question may arise, should I give up the world? Should I give up my profession, my family, to go and meditate in a cave? Of course not. You have to give it all up mentally, not physically. And you must not give up anything but mentally. You must realize that everything in your life comes from your own mind. As you begin to give up these things mentally, realizing that I am not my body, I am not my mind, I am not the world, I am not my circumstances, you will notice that you become calmer and happier. But your body will continue to do what it came here to do, but it will do it better because you're no longer interfering. You used to be a salesman and used a plan and scheme to sell, but now, with this new knowledge, there is no one to make a plan or scheme, as your mind becomes empty. However, your body will continue to do the work of a salesman, and because no one is interfering, you will become a super salesman. Why? Because the true nature of the universe is total joy and bliss. This is your true nature, as you are the universe. As you get yourself out of the way, that force that arises to make grass grow, makes flowers bloom, grows oranges on trees, will take care of you. You have nothing to fear. As you begin to realize that you know nothing, stop trying to be clever and repeating the affirmations you have learned from awareness. I know absolutely nothing. And begin to recognize yourself in divine ignorance, you can begin. The less you say, the more you turn inward, immerse yourself. Where is your reality? Then you will begin to become reality itself. That is how it starts with the words, I don't know anything. The next step is to realize that you exist. That is the only thing I am sure of. I exist. Who exists? Okay. Who is this I that seems to exist? Where did it come from? I don't know. Who doesn't know? We're back to me. Something inside is starting to say I'm responsible for everything. What do I believe in? Where did I come from? Who am I? You start looking for the source. You don't claim it. Where is the source? There is no use in claiming that the source is consciousness. If you have not experienced it, you trace the I back to its source by asking yourself, who am I? Or, what am I? Pausing and asking yourself again, who am I? As you practice this, something very interesting will arise. You will find that you are becoming happier and happier, that you are gaining a sense of immortality. You don't know why, you just feel it. The whole truth is revealed to you. You begin to realize that you were never born, and now you don't exist. As a body, there will never be a time when you will disappear. You have always existed as consciousness, as pure awareness, as absolute reality. This will come to you. You will try to share it with your friends and family, but you will not be able, because there are no words to express it, to describe what has happened to you. You have connected and become your true self. You have realized that the whole universe is something other than yourself. There are no two selves, or three, or four. There is only one true self, and you are that. This becomes clear and obvious to you. Then you become valuable to the world because you treat everybody the same way you treat yourself. Now I am trying to use words to explain this, but when this happens to you, words become alien. You become a living embodiment of consciousness. Consciousness is your true nature. Who you think you are right now does not exist. This is a mass hypnosis, a situation you are involved in. False things, nothing is what it appears to be. So start working on yourself. Detect whether what I have said is true. Don't believe a word I say. Do an experiment. You don't have to go somewhere. Just where you are, at home, start spending more time immersing yourself, watching and witnessing. Just ask yourself, who is having these thoughts? In me, I'm thinking them. Who am I? What is the source of the I? As you and your friends do this, I can assure you that there will be a miraculous change in your life sooner or later, and you will be free. Nothing does. We are not the body, nor the mind, nor the subjective, nor the objective, nor the universal. It only appears so to you when you have a dream that ends in death, but when you awaken, none of that exists anymore. Find it for yourself. Go inward.